Boston Chemical Data has been sampling in the Gulf of Mexico ever since the beginning of May 2010. We've really concentrated on looking at important fisheries species. One of the things that we spent a lot of time with is looking at crabs and crab larvae. The crabs are interesting because they're picking up a lot of the material off of the bottom. This is where their food supply comes from. So they're taking smaller fish, they're taking benthic organisms, anything that might be exposed to oil, and that's part of their diet. So once we pull these crabs up out of the seawater, what we're looking to find out is how much of the oil is actually being absorbed in the tissue of the crabs, the part that you and I eat. And also, what are these crabs passing on to their larvae? What are the smaller juvenile crabs picking up from the water? We started doing our larval sampling with crab fishermen off the coast of Pensacola, Florida. We've been working with them and looking at a class of chemicals called polynuclear aromatic hydrocarbons. These are very persistent, long-lived, toxic materials that are part of the crude oil. Even if you're not seeing oil on the surface, or if your crab looks like it doesn't have oil in it, you can still have enough of these toxic polynuclear aromatics to make this food unsafe to eat. Some people are familiar with the sniff testing that the Food and Drug Administration is doing, where they're actually smelling some of these fish to see if they're contaminated with BP crude oil. One thing to keep in mind is these polynuclear aromatics, the things we find in the crabs, they don't actually have a smell. There's no way that the sniff test is going to pick these up. So what we've done is we've gone to some of the same laboratories that FDA and Coast Guard and BP are using, have them do some of the same testing, and we're looking at our crabs from Pensacola Bay, Louisiana, other parts of Florida, Mississippi. What we're finding in these samples is significant amounts of these polynuclear aromatics, many of which we can directly relate to BP's crude oil.